Welcome to Mr. Fright Nights, where nightmares come to life. If you love bone-chilling, immersive horror stories that feel real, stories that linger long after the last word, then you're in the right place. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying tales. Now, dim the lights, put on your headphones, and prepare yourself. Tonight's horror begins now. The neon pulses around me like a living heartbeat, splashing the crowded street festival in electric pinks and greens. My name's Chiara, and tonight I'm here on a photography assignment, unofficially. I'm desperate to sell a compelling set of images to a local arts magazine. This carnival might be my meal ticket, and I'm determined to find the shot that no one else will capture. I'm training my camera on a rickety Ferris wheel rimmed in flickering bulbs when I sense a silhouette lurking near the ticket booth to my right. My pulse kicks up. I align my lens for a quick glance, thinking I might catch a candid portrait. A tall figure stands there in the gloom, wearing a hooded sweatshirt in direct contrast to the night's sticky heat. I blink, adjusting my focus. The silhouette shifts behind the swirling crowd of children and couples. I let out a half laugh at my own jittery reaction. Stress and exhaustion are gnawing at me. Too many late nights editing photographs, too many cappuccinos fueling my paranoid mind. Yet I can't deny a prickle beneath my skin. I keep snapping pictures of the Ferris wheel, but I'm hyper-aware of my surroundings now. Each time the lens sweeps the carnival, that shape resurfaces elsewhere. A ghost in the peripheral vision of my camera. I finally step away from the wheel, weaving through festival goers. Music blasts from tinny speakers, and sugar-dusted funnel cakes scent the humid air. Lines at the ticket kiosks snake in erratic paths. Taking a final look around, I lower my camera. Someone's behind me. Or so I suspect. I turn quickly, but all I see is a cluster of laughing teenagers. There's no hooded figure in sight. My throat constricts as if I've run a marathon. I scold myself for letting my imagination stoke these sparks of dread, but I can't quite force the tension away. I hear a sudden pop from a balloon carnival game to my left, and I flinch so hard I nearly drop my camera. My own reflexes disgust me sometimes. I'm no stranger to city life, and I've certainly faced my share of shady encounters. But I've never felt this immediate sense of violation, like a presence is creeping under my skin and tampering with my calm. All in the space of a few minutes, the festival feels claustrophobic. So many vibrant lights, swirling crowds, and overstimulating noises. I decide to head deeper, into the carnival zone, searching for a vantage point to snag more pictures. Truth is, I'm also chasing some private solitude to steady my nerves. Then my phone vibrates. I check the screen. Unknown number. A text reads, "Hello, Chiara. Don't blink." A jolt courses through my veins. The phone nearly slips from my sweaty hand. I glance around, half expecting to catch someone snickering as they type from the shadows. No sign of that tall figure or anything else suspicious, aside from the text itself. My heart hammers while I fight to maintain composure. I've covered crime scenes, photographed gritty protests, and once dealt with a pickpocket ring that threatened me. But this text is more unsettling than all of that combined. My name is spelled correctly, and there's that cryptic warning. Don't blink. It's intimate and invasive, a direct jab at my chest. I reread the text to be sure it's real. Then, against my better judgment, I respond with a terse, "Who is this?" The 3 blinking dots appear, vanish, reappear, like the sender can't decide what to say next. Eventually, no follow-up comes. I yank the camera strap tighter around my shoulder and push through the crowd. Lights swirl. Ubiquitous carnival. Laughs mingle with the smell of cotton candy. My skin itches with the feeling of being watched. My hand trembles as I take a few forced shots of a street performer juggling flaming torches. shots I know won't be used. I'm snapping just to look occupied, to quell the twisting fear in my gut. I cut across a line for the haunted funhouse. In the reflection of its mirrored entrance, I see a form behind me. A quiver of tension ripples from my scalp to my ankles. I spin, nothing but a middle-aged couple discussing funnel cakes. Without thinking, I hurry away from the main drag, stepping among tents where carnival workers roam. Electrical cords coil underfoot, and a generator hums ominously. I'm behind the scenes now. No festival music, just the dull, mechanical noises of rides and the hush of side conversations. My foot scuffs on something. When I look down, I find a Polaroid photo. The picture shows the carnival just moments ago, a vantage point from behind the balloon pop game. In the corner of the image, I see myself, camera raised. My entire chest tightens, which means, quite literally, somebody took the shot of me from behind. I spin in a slow circle, trying to see if the culprit lurks near the generator or behind the metal fence. Every shape is suspicious. Every unknown face is a potential threat. The Polaroid is newly developed. The chemical smell stings my nostrils. I want to fling it away, but I keep it. Evidence, maybe. Then my phone buzzes again. Snap. A single word. My shoulders tense. "Who are you?" I hiss into empty air. My voice is swallowed by the generator's drone. If they're out there, watching me quiver in the darkness, they're probably smiling. I force myself to breathe, sinking into a bizarre autopilot. My instincts as a photographer push forward. Gather details, note the environment, look for anomalies. I approach the carnival's fenced boundary, scanning for vantage points. The chain-link barrier is topped with curling barbed wire. On the other side is a patch of neglected lawn, leading to a deserted side street speckled with broken bottles. Perfect hidden spots for someone to lurk. Clutching the Polaroid, I rationalize. This has to be a very personal scare tactic. A random creep wouldn't know my name, or at least not so accurately. Could it be a disgruntled client? A competitor? A random psycho? My mind whips through possibilities. Behind me, a shrill calliope tune starts again, making me jump. It's too deliberate, as if every carnival noise is mocking me. I grit my teeth and step deeper between the tents. Never blink. The phrase loops in my mind. I recall the text, "Don't blink." What do they gain from instructing me like that? The air is still except for faint whiffs of frying oil. My camera bag whacks against my side. The weight feels heavier tonight. I yank out my phone, weigh the options of calling the police, but what do I say? Yes. Hi, someone just texted me weird messages at a carnival and left a Polaroid. My cynicism flares. I doubt they'd dispatch help for something so intangible. I approach a smaller tent with no signage, probably storage or staff area. The canvas is half open. Maybe I can find a security guard or carnival worker. As I peek inside, I catch a whiff of gasoline or kerosene. A single tungsten bulb dangles from a wire, flickering over stacked crates. On top of one crate is a stuffed pigeon, wings splayed. My nose wrinkles. It's presumably a carnival prop, but its head is missing. A wave of nausea hits me. This isn't normal even for a second-hand prop. I creep closer, snapping a photo out of habit. The stench intensifies. This isn't a prop. The pigeon is real, drained of blood, feathers smeared across the crate's edge. My vision blurs with disgust. A severed pigeon or something like it. How did it get here? I sense a slight movement, a rustle of canvas. My breath scrapes in my throat. A whisper, or maybe the faint friction of cloth passing over itself, emanates from the shadows. I raise my camera, adjusting settings to capture a still, forcibly ignoring the tremors in my hands. The lens frames darkness. Another slight shuffle. Then, a flash. An arm, gloved in black, passes across my field of view. The tent flap quivers, and a silhouette slides out the back. Adrenaline surges, against every rational impulse screaming. At me to leave, I half sprint to the tent's rear, camera brandished like a feeble weapon. Outside, the darkness is nearly absolute. No ride lights, no crowds. Just deserted ground littered with carnival debris. The silhouette has vanished. On the dirt, I see fresh footprints leading away. Next to them, a second Polaroid. I step closer, heart pounding in my temples. This new Polaroid is a tight shot of my face from behind the tent's side canvas. Uncomfortably close, probably taken mere seconds ago. The angle is disorienting. My hair is partially obscuring my profile. My mouth is slightly open in some half-formed gasp. Whoever is doing this is dangerously near. Another text message pings. New subject discovered. A cold sweat prickles across my forehead. They're not just capturing images. They're framing me like I'm part of some twisted art project. Or maybe it's personal. My gaze prowls the perimeter, hoping to catch them. Nothing but shapes of rides, a few scattered trash bins, and the orange glow from distant carnival lights. I hurry back toward the main walkway, deciding I need a witness, or at least a crowd. My bruised sense of safety demands it. The carnival is still bustling in certain pockets. People lined up for funnel cake, kids squealing on a tilt-a-whirl. But I can't help noticing that in the last half hour, the area to the north has gone dark. The walkway lamps flicker, as though half of them lost power. I approach a uniformed carnival staffer standing by the Ferris wheel's operation panel, but he's overwhelmed with controlling the ride. I quickly babble. Is there carnival security around I can talk to? He sighs, gestures vaguely with a wrench. Probably near the main entrance. The main entrance is a 15-minute walk around the perimeter. My mind thrums with caution. As I head that way, weaving through clusters of sweaty families, my phone buzzes again, this time with an image attachment. My stomach churns as I see it's an extreme close-up of my left eye. The shot is crisp. There's no doubt it's my face. How, my vision tunnels. Anxiety crushes my lungs. I sprint the last stretch to the main gate, scanning for a security kiosk. All I see is a single, bored-looking rent-a-cop leaning against a metal barrier, arms crossed. There's a half-eaten pretzel in his hand. He glances at me in mild disinterest. "Hey," I pant, forcing composure to my voice. There's someone following me. Actually, more than following me. They're taking pictures, sending me messages. He looks me up and down, eyes half-lidded. "Carnival's a busy place, miss. Could just be a pushy paparazzi." I fight an urge to scream. Did you not hear me? They took pictures of me from mere feet away, left me Polaroids. They might have harmed an animal. I found I don't want to spout words like mutilated bird in front of families strolling by. You get what I'm saying. The guard's expression remains unconvinced. He shrugs. "Ma'am, do you have evidence? Video? Anyone else who saw it happen?" I fumble in my bag for the Polaroid. It's gone, from that outer pocket where I stuffed it. Panic flares, and I rummage desperately. I can't find either of the Polaroids. The guard shifts, rolling his eyes. This doesn't look good for me. I storm away, bristling with frustration. The guard's feeble concern is the final straw. The carnival's too crowded, or maybe too chaotic for them to care about a single, frantic complaint. Without the physical Polaroids, I'm a raving loon. So I do the only thing I can think of. Contact the police directly. I retreat behind a food truck that's closing for the night, pressing the phone to my ear. The operator picks up, tone bright with forced politeness. "What's your emergency?" I try not to ramble. I explain. "Someone's stalking me at the Grovefield Street Carnival. They're sending me close-up photos of my face. They left Polaroids capturing me from different angles, only a few seconds apart. They killed a bird, or at least I found, a dead pigeon. I'm worried about my safety. The operator asks for exact location details. I provide them and request an immediate patrol. She promises to dispatch an officer, urging me to stay in a well-lit area. Then, after I hang up, dread creeps in. This could blow up in my face. If the stalker sees police arriving, they might vanish or escalate. But I have no better solution. I creep back towards the carnival's midpoint, near the giant spinning teacup ride. Hordes of parents watch their laughing kids swirl in pastel cups. The innocence of that image jars me. The entire festival radiates fun, yet I'm trapped in a private nightmare. My phone dings again. Another text. Look behind you. My spine tingles. Half sure it's a trap, I pivot slowly. Past the bright glow of the cotton candy vendor, I catch sight of that tall figure in the hooded sweatshirt near a line of game booths. My heart climbs into my throat. They're standing with a relaxed posture, arms at their sides, head half turned in my direction, as if waiting for me to spot them. Mahogany eyes peek from the hood's shadow, if that's even possible to see, at this distance. But I swear I do. My rational mind says maybe it's just the shape of a face. Could be male, female, anyone. The figure is motionless. Then the crowd surges, and the figure is gone. It leaves me questioning my own sanity. I grit my teeth and press forward, determined to close the distance. Running might scare them off, so I slip around families, zigzagging between carnival games. My camera bounces on my shoulder, each step jostling my breath. I approach the line of booths, ring toss, water gun races, balloon darts. Music from each stand yelps in tinny repetition. The same staffer from earlier almost bumps into me, scowling, and still, no hooded person in sight. My phone vibrates once more, a photo of me searching. The timestamp is seconds old. The vantage point is behind me, maybe 15 feet. I'm losing the ability to reason. I duck inside the nearest booth, a cheaply constructed ring toss stand with plush teddy bears hung along the back. The teenage attendant stares at me like I'm deranged, but I ignore him, leaning against the interior wall for a shred of privacy. My chest heaves in shallow bursts. Fear sours my mouth. I check my phone, fumbling for any clue about the sender. No name, no signature. The text chain is just me, repeated attempts at "Who are you?" with no answer. Then the menacing messages from them. If the cops are on their way, they'll take forever to push through the festival traffic, dragging. In a lungful of air, I step out of the booth. I have to keep moving or risk being cornered. If they're always behind me, maybe I can lure them somewhere quieter and catch them off guard. The logic is half-baked, but I see no better alternative. Recall the southwestern edge of the carnival where some side attractions are closed after a missing permit fiasco. That area is usually deserted after dark, guaranteed vantage points and hopefully minimal bystanders. If I can guide the stalker there, I might see them approach instead of always being the one chased. I slip away from prying eyes, hugging the perimeter. The festival lights fade behind me, replaced by half-dead lampposts and a row of shuttered food stands. In the distance, a broken carousel stands idle, half-painted horses frozen in chipped glory. A cold breeze scrapes my cheeks. Footfalls. On gravel, I whip my head. This time, I see the shape clear as day. The hooded figure, maybe 20 yards away, watcher's stance. My adrenaline spikes. I try to hold eye contact, but they step behind a battered kiosk. I inch closer. With each step, I realize how precarious this is. They could be armed. This person displays a willingness to kill animals. Who's to say I'm off limits? Clenching my fists, I call out, "What do you want?" My voice crackles with tension. Silence. Then a mechanical click behind me. I spin, camera raised. Nothing. Another click near the kiosk. It dawns on me. These are camera shutters. The figure is snapping photos relentlessly. I have my own camera. Could that deter them? Probably not. But I'm a photographer, so I raise mine and snap in their direction, hoping the flash might disorient them. The strobe flickers, revealing a glimpse of that sweat-shrouded face. I see parted lips, a hint of cheekbone. The light feels like a gunshot in this darkness. They hurry behind the kiosk, but not before dropping something. A Polaroid flutters to the ground. My flash fades, leaving me gasping in the near dark. I inch forward and grab the photograph. It's me, from this exact moment, camera up, face contorted with fear. A cold wind knifes through me, accompanied by the tang of stale popcorn from a discarded box on the ground. My breath rattles. This new Polaroid's chemical scent triggers a surge of nausea. The image is too immediate, too intimate. They're toying with me, capturing my terror second by second. I hear footsteps again, purposeful. Instinct cries out to run. But my stubbornness flares. A sick part of me wants to confront this monster. I step around the kiosk, scanning each shadow. The battered carousel looms in the background, chipped horses leering in ghostly shapes. Footsteps recede, replaced by a quiet hum, some leftover Carnival generator in the distance. I can't see my stalker. With my phone's flashlight app, I sweep the area. Then I freeze. Pinned to the rusted kiosk's plywood is not another Polaroid, but a piece of pink stationery. The handwriting is jagged. I've studied you for months. Loved your photos long before you ever saw me. Tonight, we create art together. Keep your eyes open, or you'll miss the moment. I tear the note down, hands shaking. Months? Some savage obsession, set on immortalizing my fear. My stomach lurches, my mind replaying every freelance job, every open gallery where my prints were displayed. Could they have attended my exhibit? A wave of regret slams me. I should have canceled this fiasco and left when the texts started. Pride, or curiosity, or some twisted moral code kept me here. Now I'm caught. Suddenly, sirens wail faintly from somewhere near the Carnival's main entrance. Relief and dread collide in my chest. The police might be here. But will I be able to find them? Or is it something else? The festival is huge, and the limited staff might not even realize how to direct the officers to me. I turn back toward the main thoroughfare, heart pounding. My phone signal flickers. The battery icon is at 12%. Typical. A relentless sense of urgency stabs at me. I need to intercept the cops or at least get to a place with more witnesses. If I'm alone with this maniac, a single cornered moment could end in violence. Footfalls again. This time they rush behind me, faster, heavier. I spin, but see only a blur. The figure rams into my shoulder in passing, nearly knocking me to the ground. My phone sails from my grip, skittering across the asphalt, battery popping out on impact. Darkness engulfs me. I can't see where the figure has gone. I can't see my phone. The Carnival lights glimmer, distant and mocking, as I scramble, on my knees to retrieve it. Scraped palms burning, I fumble in the gloom. The phone's battery has rolled under a food cart's collapsed awning. My vision pulses with panic as I grope for it blindly. I can almost hear them behind me, snapping pictures of me crawling like an animal. My heart can't handle this mania much longer. Finally, my fingertips brush plastic. I dart upright, snapping the battery back in place. It's an older model phone, which means it needs to reboot. 10 humiliating seconds of darkness. My eyes flicker around, searching for any sign of the tall figure. The Carnival's commotion is oddly muted here, as if the world forgot this corner. 11% battery remains once the phone restarts. My shaky hands dial 911 again, hoping to speed up the response or guide them to my location. The line crackles to life, but the signal is patchy. I manage to spit out, south side of Carnival, near Old Carousel, before static swallows. The call. I hiss in frustration, face hot from fear and anger. Enough is enough. No more cowering. I want concrete evidence. If I can snap a photo of my stalker, show it to the police, maybe this nightmare ends tonight. I prime my camera, adjusting the ISO for low light, gripping it like a lifeline. Somewhere close, something clangs, a metal chain rattling. The broken carousel? I approach quietly, each footstep crunching gravel. My camera lens picks out movement among the carved horses. A silhouette stands near the center pole, rummaging through carnival paraphernalia. They're turned away, hood drawn up. Perfect shot. I raise my camera, heart in my throat, and press the shutter. The flash illuminates them starkly. The figure whips around, face half hidden behind a black cloth mask. I see wide eyes, the color unclear. Adrenaline sears me. This is my moment. I snap 2 more frames in rapid succession. A hiss of frustration emanates from the figure. Then they fling something at me. Click. A metal object whirls by my face, barely missing me. It clatters against the carousel flooring. My breath rasps, but I keep taking photos. The figure lunges. I stumble back as mechanical gears under my feet squeal. My camera bag flops off my shoulder. My attacker tries to grab it, but I jerk away, nearly twisting my ankle. Fury ignites within me. I'm done playing cat and mouse. Clinging to the camera, I slam my foot into their shin with a burst of hot rage. They grunt, stumbling. For an instant, the figure's mask shifts, revealing pale skin. I want to scream for help, but my voice is lost behind the swirling carnival breeze. Then the figure darts behind a carousel pony. The entire structure groans as though about to come alive. A wave of dizziness interrupts my pursuit. My foot throbs from the impact against bone. I limp past the first row of horses. The old carousel looms overhead, ringed by collapsed tarps. Flickers of carnival lights seep through the cracks. Each step is a minefield of trash and broken boards. Somewhere behind these battered rides lurks a sadist who decided I'm tonight's prey. My teeth grind with the realization. If I don't corner them, they'll vanish, and I'll be left with worthless snapshots. I want to throw up from the tension, but I push deeper into the swirling gloom. Suddenly a whisper resonates. "Chiara, you're perfect." I track the voice. It echoes around the metal pillars, making it tricky to pinpoint the source. Panic flutters in my chest. This person knows how to push every nerve inside me. They clatter something metallic. A camera? A blade? Hugging the center pole, I try to angle my lens around a carved horse. My reflection, distorted in a cracked mirror panel, startles me. My eyes are wild, hair slicked to my forehead. I realize I don't even look like me anymore. Fear has resculpted my features. There's a savage flicker in my gaze. A jarring shriek cuts through the air. For a moment, I fear it's someone else in trouble, but the hush that follows says otherwise. I grit my teeth and press on. The figure is behind the next set of horses. My entire body trembles with adrenaline. I leap into the open, camera raised. The flash slices the darkness, revealing the hooded tormentor standing atop a raised platform, brandishing a small device. Another camera. The shutter noise is maddening. "You fight back," they say softly, voice muffled behind the hood. I like that. I snap a photo of them, capturing a partial face. They rip off their mask. Under the hood stands a gaunt visage, a parted mouth, a faint scar trailing from temple to cheek. A stranger. But the mania in their eyes suggests a lethal devotion. I see no pity, no hesitation, just obsession. They fling the camera at me. It cracks against my forearm, pain bursting like a spark. I refuse to fall. They rush me. Metal glints. My mind screams knife, but I can't see. We collide in a tangle of limbs. My camera strap twists around my neck. I thrust my knee upward, blindly impacting flesh. A cough escapes them. Another savage motion. My lens cracks with a horrifying crunch as they stomp on it. The timeline fractures in my head. Are we fighting for my camera or my life? Searing pain slices across my bicep. Maybe the blade grazed me. I shove them backward with all I have, blood pounding in my ears. A sickening lull hangs between us. My torn arm throbs, and my camera gear is nearly destroyed. I can hear the Carnival's chaos in the distance. Sirens, maybe the faint echo of voices shouting. The figure stands a few feet away, panting. I see a glint of metal clutched in their grip, a small, sharp blade coated in something dark, likely my blood. Tears of anger sting my eyes. This ends now. I'm beyond terror. I'm in full survival mode. Swinging a splintered wooden carousel, pole lying on the floor, I lash out. The figure evades it. We circle each other in the half-lit ring, the battered carousel horses looming over us like silent witnesses. Suddenly, red and blue lights strobe across the carnival grounds. The police have arrived. A broad searchlight sweeps the area, hitting the carousel. My attacker curses under their breath. Another Polaroid camera is whipped out from under their hoodie. They snap a final shot of me, flash scorching my pupils, and bolt. I can't see where they go. My vision is spots of white. I stagger after them, but the darkness eats them alive. Then uniformed officers flood the perimeter, weapons out. Seeing me in a bloody confrontation with no visible attacker in sight, they stiffen. "Drop whatever's in your hand," one yells. I realize I'm still gripping a wooden pole stained with my own blood. Tremors convulse my arms. I half collapse, gasping. They attacked me. Where did they go? The words tumble in a rush. A young officer checks around the carousel quickly, flashlight strobing. His partner calls for paramedics. Confusion reigns. The hooded figure is nowhere to be found. No sign of any footprints or hidden exit, though there must be one. I'm left reeling in helpless fury. The paramedic who arrives tries to calm me, pressing gauze to my cut. Police question me about who attacked me, how I got hurt. Shaking from adrenaline, I try describing the face I saw. It's so generic. Average, height, pale complexion, a scar. I emphasize the string of messages, the Polaroids. But the Carnival is a swirling mass of lost evidence and shattered illusions. Not long after, the officers find a Polaroid camera near the kiosk, broken from our fight, but the memory is blank, no film. The images of me, of my terror, of the severed pigeon, are all out there in someone's hands. A few carnival workers recall seeing a tall person in a hoodie, but it's faint, worthless testimony. My photos of them? The memory card on my battered camera is corrupted from the scuffle. The shots might be salvageable by an expert, but there's no guarantee. By dawn, I'm numb, sitting on an ambulance step with stained bandages up my arm. An officer is politely taking my statement. My throat feels raw from shock. "We'll do what we can," she says, though her tone holds limited optimism. "We'll go through Carnival security footage, see if we can identify your assailant. I know how this usually goes. Minimal leads. No priority once the festival wraps up. That looming presence might fade from official records, but not from my memory." Before the paramedics escort me away, a tired detective quietly informs me that someone else in the carnival reported a strange person snapping photos. They vanish just as fast. He suggests heightened caution until they get a lead. As I climb into the ambulance, I spot a small scrap of pink paper poking out from under a loose seat cushion. My stomach lurches. Smeared black ink reads, "You blinked. My legs give out." The paramedic practically catches me. Tears flood my eyes. I realize now that no matter what the police find or ignore, no matter how many locks I add to my door, I'm not free. This is an obsession that started with me as the subject, and it may never truly end. I was captured in those photos, raw, terrified, and those images exist beyond my grasp, fueling someone's twisted art. They might wait, weeks or months, then return with new vantage points and even sharper cruelty. All I can do is pray that next time, I won't be so alone in the dark. But in the back of my mind, the memory of that final Polaroid flash haunts me. They took a piece of me, and I fear someday soon they'll come to claim the rest. You made it to the end, but are you sure the story's over? Some things have a way of sticking with you, creeping back in when you least expect it. If you want more nightmares, there's another story waiting for you right here. But don't say I didn't warn you. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what would you have done differently? Or maybe the better question is, what would you do if this ever happened to you? Subscribe if you haven't already. Just don't blame me when you start sleeping with the lights on.